Y'all, Ed Reed is not ready to be a head coach on the collegiate level at all. He's not. It hurts me to say that because I was really advocating for the brother before his response and how he was talking about Bethune-Cookman, and I didn't like how he handled the situation at all, and I criticized that on this channel. But when he first got the job, I was all gung-ho for it. I was ready for it, right? But watching him, like, on Roland Martin's show, talking to Roland Martin, he got a representative on the side of him speaking for him. But when it's time for Ed to speak, Ed has no emotional regulation at all. None whatsoever. He, ooh, ooh, man, man. Bro, all of that, bro. I'm like, this brother he seems emotionally unstable. That is not okay. It's not. He's supposed to be a leader of men and an ambassador for the school, right? Can you imagine after like a 20-point loss, a home loss or something like that, Ed Reed would be ready to whoop your ass, my ass, the referee's ass, the kid's ass, and the parents' ass if they even crack one smile about anything, right? And I know some of y'all gonna be like, well, the players shouldn't be smiling after the game. They shouldn't. But Ed probably will whoop the parents' ass because he seems to be that his emotions are not regulated well at all. And I'm like, yeah, that's not okay. That's not okay. A coach has to be, like, in order to be a representative of the school, in order to speak on the school's behalf, they have to be able to control their emotions. He has no self-control over his emotions, none whatsoever. I'm telling y'all, it would have been a bad situation with Ed coaching. I can see it now. Ed would be livid, throwing coolers on the sideline, acting a damn fool. And I know some of y'all gonna say, well, a coach is supposed to be passionate, so on and so forth, and they are. But passionate is one thing. Ed is like, he ready to dive off the slope. And it's not even funny because, you know, like, brothers have to be, I speak about men being in control of their emotions all the time. That's what makes you a man, being able to control yourself. Ed cannot. Ooh. I said, man, the brother is about to turn into the Incredible Hulk in an interview where it's a friendly environment. Like, Roland Martin not pressing him. He not asking him, no, he not grilling him. He not putting him on Front Street Center. None of that. Softball type questions, and Ed is ready to tip off the Richter scale, or tip over the slope. Like, man, you know what I mean? I like, nah, bro, that's not okay. That's not okay. He got to be able to represent himself in much better fashion. He can't even get a sentence out because he's so angry and ready to snap. And I'm like, well, and part of that is what made him such a great hellified, the greatest safety of all time, because he was so fiercely competitive and he played with so much rage and so much tenacity, so on and so forth. And that translated well on the field, but that doesn't translate well as a head coach. You got to be able to control other men's emotions when they going all haywire, so on and so forth. You got to be able to settle them down, to reel them in. It seemed like the assistant coaches and the players would have to reel Ed in. Because Ed would be ready to snap and lose his damn mind at the sight of something crazy. And you can't have a head coach has to be in control of himself. Say what you want about Deion Primetime Sanders, and I gave Prime flack for the way he left Jackson State. Not him leaving. I didn't care. I wasn't mad about him leaving, but the way he left and certain things that he did, right? But he was always in control of his emotions, right? He wasn't like he wasn't what we would think is a loose cannon. None of that. We like, nah, this brother know how to keep it together, keep himself composed. Ed, no, bruh. Ed wouldn't be able to keep himself composed. I'm not sure. Ed, man, hey, Ed might have found himself ready to fight some coaches and shit. I don't know. But I'm like, yo, he can't even say a sentence. You know, so just imagine if they lost like 4 or 5 games in a row and the reporter asked the wrong question. Ed would be ready to choke the reporter out. Would be fuming like a raging bull. And it ain't no, because I know y'all gonna say, y'all trying to paint the black man as aggressive stereotype. I'm a black man. I don't advocate for that stereotype. But what I saw is what I saw. It's plain, simple and plain, clear as day. Ed couldn't keep himself together. And it's like, again, How can we expect him to control the emotions of other young men that he's supposed to be leading and grooming into from young boys into men? How can we expect him to do that if he can't do it himself? For real, like I'm looking at Ed like, ooh, 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 turning to the side. I said, man, the way he's responding as if he is a collegiate football player still, you know. And no, man, it needs to be a separation, a degree of separation from that and those type of responses. Because it's like you can be passionate and you can be upset, but that's one thing. This other part is like, nah, I don't think Ed is ready to lead young men. And I was saying after I saw the way I saw a glimpse of that when he was responding how he responded. This shit is fucking trash. It's trash. This shit is trash. All of that. I say, yeah, I don't know if he has not the maturity. I don't know if he, again, is emotionally regulated enough to keep himself composed even in situations of turmoil or situations where things aren't going his way. You know, because, like, again, we saw Shannon Sharp at the game, right? And he lost his cool. But I can guarantee you, I can see that, that's because the man told him, F you, and was talking crazy to him. But I can guarantee you, I've seen Shannon be upset about things and keep he can be emotionally regulated, able to articulate his thoughts, able to take a deep breath and talk and speak without looking like he's ready to snap and damn break somebody's neck. Like, I've seen Shannon be able to do that. Even in heated situations, right? Gather himself and compose himself. And I know if Shannon's team went on a 5-game losing streak, yes, he would be unhappy about it, but he would still be able to convey a message across to the young men and be able to hone and reel them in when they're going off the scale. Ed, not so much. No. I'm looking like we might need a dang on a therapist at the game for Ed. For real. Cause bruh, nah, that's not a good look. That would not be a good look for any institution or the HBCUs for him to be like where he can't emotionally control himself. For real, like I'm looking like, no, like Ed is really in here looking like he needs somebody to calm him down and take him through a dang on woosah, like one of them stress relieving little anxiety or tension relief type exercise or something like that. I don't know. But I'm looking at that like, bruh, this ain't even the environment for you to be doing all of that in. And look how he can't even string a sentence together. Look how he can't even look in the camera for a long time. He ready to snap. He is on edge. And again, that probably made him such a great ferocious football player. But that doesn't translate. Being a ferocious football player doesn't translate to being a great coach. It's a different job and a different task and a different duty. Yeah, you can rally the troops in football, your teammates, but it's a different thing when you're speaking to young men who are, just became of the age of consent to, now they're not even, a lot of them not even the age of consent to drink. They just age of consent to what? Drive and whatever. But that's it. I'm looking like, man, no. Like, yeah, I don't know. Bethune-Cookman might have did the right thing as far as like, because again, Ed is not ready to be. And after that, y'all was talking about, oh, Bethune-Cookman missed out. Watch how these predominantly white institutions don't get mad when a predominantly white institution snag him up and all of that. I guarantee you 1,000% they're not going to snag Ed up after watching that interview. And I'm not wishing bad on the black man. I want the black brother to be successful. I want him to keep, doing this thing. And I know the good that he can do. While his heart seems to be in the right place for sure. But that's not a good example to set. And I guarantee you the predominantly white institution saw that and said, oh, no. How can we have him be an ambassador for us if he can't even keep himself controlled in a calm environment like that? There's no way. You can't advocate for him being a great ambassador. You can't make a case for it. Because the brother is ready to, he looked like he ready to damn spear somebody, level somebody in a heartbeat. For real, I'm like, yeah, and it's like, nah. You know, you have to be able to present yourself in much in better fashion than that. Can you imagine Ed being on a recruiting trip? He can recruit the heck out of you, right? But let's just say you don't sign and you renege on the offer and you don't want to come to Bethune no more, and you had Ed thinking you was going to come. Oh my God. Ed might reach through the phone and whoop your ass and cuss your mama out, your daddy out, your brother, your sister out, everybody in the damn household for letting you renege on him. Ed'll probably be in there, ooh, how you gonna do some shit like that? I can see it right now. You know, and it's like, nah, man. Yeah, you gotta sit this one out. Ed got to be able to learn how to hone those things in. And then I think after a few years, so a few years maybe, he could be able to get himself in that position. But emotional regulation, he has none of it. He has none of it. And I always say black men got to be able to control themselves. And I knew he didn't have no control for real when he was cussing and hollering and all of that. Even when you're mad or upset about something, you must be able to have self-control. Because if you don't, there could be life or death for the black man anywhere else, even in the professional ranks. Ed's not ready.